you as a magnet. You're the body that feels the energy of the water. The copper rods just tells you when your body has walked over the energy, right? So we have so many sensors. One of those sensors that we use for exercise, for Pilates, is proprioception. So I don't want to say it's the sixth sense and give you a bum steer. There's actually a ton of sensors, but in this industry, we call it the sixth sense. Knowing where your body is in space, and that's hard for a lot of people. So open chain makes proprioception harder. Closed chain creates a circuit of neural information. Whether you close the chain here, whether you close the chain here, whether you close the chain here, which is ridiculous, but you know what I mean? That sort of thing, okay? All right, is that making sense? Yeah. Ball between knees. So we are doing ball between knees, closing the chain. Pole in the hands to close the chain, and then we have an open chain, which is the spine. So the awareness of the spinal flexion is difficult, and again, all of our seated flexion requires the same cues. Maintain length as you curl. Lead with the tailbone tucking, hip bones tucking. Tailbone tucks under, hip bones tuck in. Hollow the belly, pull the navel back, and create a nice C-curve spine. Gently squeeze the armpits or break the pole, and then arms go up to challenge, 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 and then come all the way forward, curl, head to ball, pole to ankles, and then sit tall, stacking from the tail up the spine to the crown of the head. Good. You can feel like you're also pulling the pole apart to give you width, or you can snap the pole, different intentions. Why would we pull the pole apart? If someone has shoulders that pop forward, I would say try and pull the pole apart to widen them, right? If someone has high shoulders, I would say snap the pole to bring them down. So the intention of my cues is based on the person. Feel that difference, right? If your shoulders were forward, push the pole forward, I would say pull the pole apart. Feel the width you created, yeah? If your shoulders were high, I'd say snap the pole, yeah? So the cues are determined on the person. Exhale, let's go. Scoop the belly, keep the height, roll into flexion, pull the navel back, hollow the belly. Yes, Shan. Smashing it, that's perfect. Arms go up, 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 shoulders stay wide, working hard, squeeze the ball, and then go up and over. Is anybody loading into their back? Ella, I'm thinking of you. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you loading?
I've got my feet underneath here.
You're not loading?
No, that's okay.
Good. Okay, so I'm just going to adjust you. Everyone can watch. Yeah. Just going to adjust you.
Like I'm not doing something right.
That's fine. So go tall, 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 tall. Arms forward. Good. So for your shoulders, you're going to work on pulling. That's it. Hold. Now keep the energy through the head. And I'm going to help guide your head tall. Now just move the tailbone. Just the tailbone under. Good. Think into the abs. Keep lengthening. I'm going to guide this length and go pull the navel back and tuck your tailbone. Think of your hip bones at the front pulling in and up, in and up. Keep pulling those hip bones in and up, more hip bones in and up, tuck, 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 tuck. Keep lengthening the head. Keep pulling the hip bones in and up, more. Keep going, hip bones in and up, more. Keep going, keep going, keep going. That's it, hold. All right, now what's going to help with the back here is you've got the curve from this end, so we also want the curve from this end. So what I want you to do, you guys can feel this with me now, get into position. I want you to squeeze the ball, push your knees forward while your heels suction backward, which encourages the curvature from this end while your head curves from that end. Mm-hmm. How do you feel?
Yeah, that's better.
It's good, isn't it?
Enough.
All right? So, because you're trying to create the biggest, longest curvature of the spine, so while you're in your curve, I want you to squeeze the ball and push the knees forward, which is curling you more under, while the heels tuck and pull backward to create, yeah? So that's going to help you get an even better curve. And again, this is for the hippie people. So for you, Shan, yeah, that's it. I actually want your knees a bit more bent. So you come up for me, jump up. I'm going to jump you on the other side. So we can work with more knee flexion, which is going to help you jump down. Good. Tuck those feet. Good. All right, let's sit tall, sit tall, sit tall. Good. Keep the length, and then just move the pelvis, just the pelvis, just the pelvis. That's really good, Shan. Keep going from the hips tucking, keep the length, keep the length. As you start to bend, now squeeze the knees, push the knees, pull the heels. Push the knees, pull the heels, hollow the belly. Perfect. Good. Arms raised, raise, 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 raise. You're getting as much curvature as you can. And then just stay there. Lower the arms, exhale, inhale, raise. Lower the arms, exhale. Keep your scoop. Lower the arms, keep the knees squeezed, good. Keep that roundness, hollow out that belly, keep that roundness. Let's go lift. and lower. Let's go lift. Squeeze that ball gently. Not 100% because then the inner thighs take over and we tighten into the hips. 50% squeeze on the ball, maybe 75 maximum. One more time. Are you working in your abs, not your back, Ella?
Yeah.
Good. You working in your abs, not your back? Yes. And then come all the way forward.
I did so much abs
This morning. Dying, yeah. I'm trying not to overwork you, but I want you to feel it, yeah? So that is an exercise. Anything in seated can go terribly wrong if the legs aren't active, if the back is sinking, if the back hip sling's taking the load. So the cues are so important. Seated, okay? That's great. You can also do rotation. I'm just going to take you through some different things. We won't hold very long. I'm just going to show you through some different things. So ball, good. Sit tall. You can pull your arms apart if your shoulders sit forward, or you can snap your pole if your shoulders sit high. And then we're going to pull the navel, not the navel, sorry, scoop the lower belly before you pull the navel, tailbone under, tuck the hips in and up, push the knees forward, pull the heels backwards. So you're lengthening the tailbone under, lengthening the head and sternum over. And then some rotation. So you can twist and pull like you're kayaking and back to center. You can twist and pull and back to center. Twist and pull and back to center. Twist and pull and back. Hold. Now lift your chest up high or everything up straight, 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 straight. Then just connect your ribs and hips, connect your ball. Connect your ribs and hips, connect your ball, and then lean back, but holding your abs at the front. Lean back, hold your abs at the front, lean forward. Okay, this is quite a tricky exercise, yeah? If you don't have your abs support, your inner thigh support, then you are gonna feel it in the back. Abs, 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 and tall. Good. Now try a twist. Twist. Tall spine. Squeeze your ball. Now lean back with your abs, 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 abs engage. Like you're trying to do an ab crunch without changing the shape of the spine. Twist the other way. Tall spine. Squeeze the ball. Now abs, abs, abs. As you lean back at the hips, hold your abs, your abs, your abs, your abs, your abs, and then bring it all the way back, and then lower it down. Good. If you don't cue abs, it's just back, back. Yeah, back and hips. Did anyone feel that was more back and hips than abs? Abs, abs, all good, yeah?
I find it easier with anything that's twisting.
Yeah.
Like if it twists, I can...
Yeah, you recruit QL and obliques, yeah.
I'm not, because it's not hurting my back as much.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nice, cool, well done. That's quite difficult. So in a level 1 class, flexion, it's all about flexion because the load is distributed into this C curve. When you've got the full load of the spine, the lever, if you chop yourself off at the waist and weighed your entire top half of your body, it's fucking heavy, all right? So it's very hard to have the full weight with the longest lever load going backwards. So that's more of a level 3 advanced exercise, okay? Right, that's seated. Seated mermaid, yeah, let's tuck this under. Put the pole away. All right. You're gonna have to trust yourself a little bit here, but while you're learning to trust, you can take the hand to the floor and side flex. When you come up, we don't want to grip from the hip, which looks like this. You want to have long hip. You want to lift your armpit to your waist to lead you up and over. When you eventually get to the point where you don't need to use the floor, your bottom arm will sweep across your belly and you will lean all the way over, pull the armpit down to bring you all the way up. Good. Now we're going to straighten our hips. So this hip's going to push forward, that's it. So when you go over, we're going to let go of that hip. So lower it down, use the hand, even on the headrest if you want to. Yeah, that's fine. And then I want you to bring the rib cage back to me. That's it, close the ribs in back to me. Open this hip, stretch, open, 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 open. That's it. And now bring it up from armpit to hip. Bring it down from here, all the way. That's it, and then bring it sit tall. Good, ribs come back to me. That's it, and again, down we go. Left arm down. Good. Now you're going to tell yourself, glute forward, you're going to tell yourself to lengthen, bend this elbow. Yeah, let yourself go. Good. This is just fear factor, so that'll just slowly get better. Good. Over we go. Side flexion, mermaid. Pop the ribs just back to me. That's it. Good. Nice. And then all the way up. When you come up, you can't pull from the hip. You've got to push armpit to hip. Lead from the armpit. Good. Now when you come back, good. This rib has to pull away from my hand. So you've got to go, even if you soften this knee, you've got to pull, yeah, all the way over. There you go. And then back. Good. Beautiful. Ribs back to me. Back, 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 back. Head back to me. Back, 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 back. That's it. Now come over. Keep the ribs back. Keep the ribs back. Keep the ribs back. Good. Side flex. Now hold here with the ribs. Hips go forward. Hip forward, hip forward. So open and stretch the hip. That's it. Good. Good, Ella. So you can go lower. So you can trust yourself. Go lower. Lengthen. Lengthen this side body. Yes, and then armpit down to the hip to bring you up. Pull. Down, down, down. That's it from here. Obliques, yeah? Good. Everyone happy?
I quite like that.
It's nice, isn't it? Once you've trusted yourself enough, obviously, we would then take it into some oblique lifts. But before you can get there, we have to learn to disassociate a side flexion from hip flexion. Okay? So let me just talk you through that. If the hip is gripping, because it thinks it needs to hold you, it's very hard to move the torso. Once we let go of the hip, you create range, all of a sudden we can actually move from this waistline, bra line, flex, 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 flex without using the hip. But that recruits, got to bring the head back, that recruits the obliques rather than the hip, okay? And that takes time and practice. It's like a car show, isn't it?
Yeah, it must be driving to Haysmere, because when I drove over, there's people standing on the side of the road with loads of plastic cars. Well, I don't know whether they're doing some kind of round.
They're just showing off.
Yeah, I saw some of those. Does it go?
Flip around. How'd we go with that? Who's feeling it here in the hip though? Joe, are you getting it in the hip? Shorten the strap? Yeah. Of course, yeah. Yeah, actually that's something I forgot to say. So, well done for bringing that up. So your strap is already on the shortest setting. So what you have to do is you have to hook it over the actual thing there, see? Or just over the knob. So now it's shorter. And if you hook both sides over, it'll be shorter again, but I think one side's enough. Try that. You hook it over the actual knob. Yeah, do you want it even shorter still? Do you want to try that? Yeah. So then this one, I will take over the knob as well. So if they're hooked over the knobs, then it's even shorter. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, good. And then it's just about telling the hip to let go and trusting that you have muscles that are there to support your side flexion. So yeah, when you're ready, take it over. Good. Good. Now bring the head and ribs back to me. Keep coming back. Keep coming ribs back as well. That's it. And then you're going to push the hip open from the glute. So you're opening the hip, push. That's it, good. And then let this elbow bend and let yourself go. Side flex. Well done, that's better. Keep going, good. And then armpit down to bring you up. Armpit down, this one. That's it. Flex from here to bring it up. Good. Now this time, go hand to floor. I'm going to put a block there just to bring it up slightly for you. There you go. Hand to block. Good. Bring the ribs back. Good. When you come up, armpit pulls down. Armpit to hip. Yeah, it's still coming from here. Feel that? Good. Lower it down towards me. Bring the head back, bring the ribs back. Good. So I want you to just keep everything long. I want you to squeeze your armpit to your hip down. That's it. Keep going. Pull down from here. So you're bending it. Yeah, that was better. Feel the difference? Good. Everyone happy with this? Yeah. It's a hard one. This takes time. It's a hard exercise. It takes time to work on that side flexion control. Good. And then all the way up, armpit to hip. Good. Yeah, nice, Phoebe. Really good. When you come up, Shan, you've got to soften this knee and pull your ribs across. Good. Pop your ribs back in. Yeah, yes, there you go. Good. Let this hip go longer. Let it go. Push this hip forward. That's it. Bring the ribs back so you're more flat. Back to me. Keep coming, head back as well. There you go. And then up from here and then down. Good. Soften this knee and go all the way. Keep going. Ribs. Yeah, there you go. Bring the ribs back. Well done. All right. Yes. Relax. That one's going to take time, in your own time to practice and in classes. Seated. All right. I'm going to throw it over to you. There's lots more I could show you on the box, but I want you to think, what can I do now on the box? We've done lots of other seated. Where can I sit on the box? How can I sit? Beautiful. Yeah, nice. Long box. So if we face the back of the machine, what muscles, what part of the body are we using if we face the back of the machine? Posterior chain. And if we face into the front of the machine, we're using the anterior chain. Good. So we're going to sweep the arms forward or sweep the arms backward. Great. Sitting backwards. So what can we do from here? Antonia, take it away. What are we doing? We can do seated rows for me. So all your seated work that we did on the floor can be done on the box. What's the benefit of doing on the box versus seated?
Destabilizing you.
Yeah, it's more destabilized, and also instead of being in a cross-leg position where the hips are outwardly rotated, which is easier to hold the spine, now you can be in a hip flexion, which is harder for people. So you're actually using your psoas. Yeah, but that's okay. That's just an easier option. Yeah. But now you're having to use your hip flexors and psoas, which, remember, just because we're tight, this is really important. Just because we might be tight in hip flexors, it doesn't make them strong. Tight hip flexors mean short. The distance between where the attachment point is, origin and insertion, is shorter. That's what tight means, not strong. Strong means you have the right length of the muscle and it can function fully contracted and fully extended. Okay, so a strong muscle and a tight muscle are different. So if you have tight hip flexors, you still need to strengthen hip flexors. That's really important, okay? So just because people say, oh, I'm really tight in my hips, I shouldn't be doing this. No, they should be doing it, okay? Work the hips properly and effectively in both flexion and extension to build strong, healthy hips and rotation and abduction, etc. So what are we doing, sorry, Antonia?
We do seated row.
Great, seated row. So what are we doing? Pulling, yeah, obviously we'll need heavier springs. Yeah, we're doing straight arm rows?
Yes.
Great, straight arm rows. And you feel, because you are not in a cross-leg position, you have to work harder through your anterior chain in your hips and your abs while you're pushing and moving through your posterior chain. Beautiful. And all your arm work can obviously come from here, everything that we did in kneeling. Kneeling is more core work. This is more working into the hips. So the difference is, kneeling, you're working your core focused into glutes. Remember kneeling, come to kneeling. Everyone kneel. Do the same thing in kneeling, and notice while the arms are moving, you have to take the load with open hips into the butt. Feel the ab glute sling, yeah? It's the butt that's holding you there. Abs, yeah. Tall, remember length guys. Posterior chain, kinetic chain on. Tall spine, push down through the knees, grow tall through the spine. Feel your glutes working hard. So you're stabilizing the load in the glutes and abs, whereas here, you're stabilizing the load in the hips and abs. So why would we do one? Why would we do the other? One is for the core with straight hips, which is ab glute sling, and one is for the anterior chain, the hips and ab sling. Okay? So if you have a class full of Shannons, all right, I would do them kneeling because they need to practice opening their hips. If I had a class full of me's, right, where I'm a lazy posture, yeah, I'm a lazy male sway back posture, I would do loads of seated abs, yeah. And obviously, if you've got both, you choose based on your lesson plan. Go with your lesson plan. But you can change it, there's only 6 machines, you can change it for people. If I'm in kneeling and you see me and you're like, oh, you need to work on hip flexion, great, sit me down. Or a Shan, if we're in seated, you could be like, okay, Shan, you can kneel on the box. So there's different cues you can use for different posture types. Do we understand why we do that? Yeah? Because Shan wants to use her hips, so you go kneeling where you have to tuck and squeeze your butt, whereas I want to sink. So therefore, I want to be in kneeling where I'm having to pull myself up into that hip flexion because I've got lazy, lengthened hip flexors. So I want to work my hip flexors. It doesn't mean it's bad if you are a hip dominant person to be in seated, okay? It's not bad because you still need to use your hips effectively. You still need to be able to lift and extend and work your hips as well as extend them. Okay. Anyone else want to add anything for seated? teaser on the box. Exactly, yeah, which is just an extra element. So we did it seated, which is harder, which is easier. Why is on the box harder than seated?
Because the mind thinks you're higher off the ground.
Yes, proprioception. Yeah. It's harder to perceive yourself the higher you get.
That's why that
yeah? Yes.
Falling over.
It's a proprioception challenge. So if you do it on the floor and your class is doing it easy, you might go, all right, next time I'm going to do that class on the box. I'm going to give them a proprioception challenge. Yeah? We've also got something we haven't talked about yet, but the angle of the pulleys. So how pulleys work, right, is they halve, I can't remember the ratio, but if you're, the load, every time you run something through a pulley, the science is it's a tenth of the load or something. I can't remember what it is, right? But that only is if the pulley is straight, if the angle of this rope and angle of this rope is the same. Yeah? So what makes it harder is every time the angle of the two ropes is widened, it gets exponentially harder. If the ropes come back to parallel, it gets exponentially easier because you're maximizing the surface area of the pulley. I'm not a physicist or a scientist, so I can't exactly tell you what the mechanics is, but all I know is the higher the rope, the harder it is because you're not using the pulley to its maximum usage. Do you know what I mean? The lower down it goes, the easier it is. So also when you raise anything in the box or when you have anything where the pulleys are harder, note that your springs are going to feel a lot harder. So let's just feel that now. So take your box away. So you've got one spring on, right? One spring. Kneel.